What's up guys, Adobe just released a new Photoshop version 27, and there's a bunch of cool features that we should talk about, so let's get right into it. So the first feature we're going to talk about is generative upscaling. For example, I have this image right here, and the size it's 1200 by 750. And if you need this photo to be of a higher resolution, we can now do that easily because Adobe partnered with Topaz, which is like the most popular service to upscale images using AI. So how we're going to do that is go to Image, Generative Upscale, and here you have a new window. Here you can select a model for upscaling. Firefly Upscaler is Adobe's model. But now we have partner models, which are Topaz Gigapixel or Topaz Bloom. You can mess around with both and see what comes out better. But yeah, this one adds detail and changes the original image a bit. And this one preserves the existing details like it says right here. So we're gonna keep this. You can select 2 times or 4 times the scale. But for this occasion, I'm gonna do 2 so it's faster. And this is the final resolution we will have, and click upscale. Once it's done, we're going to compare the two, and there we go, it just finished. We can already see there is much more detail on this image and it looks really nice. Of course, the text is not going to be perfect. At the end of the day, it's just an AI model and these really small texts will be messed up, but it wasn't visible in the first place on the original image as well. You can clearly see the details here. This is the original and this is the upscaled version. I think this is pretty insane, and it's gonna save you a lot of times from using those external services online or paying for Topaz externally. Now you have it integrated inside of Photoshop. Of course, it uses credits, but if you're paying an Adobe subscription, it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, the detail on this is pretty good and it's gonna help you a ton. We can try another image just to show you. Let's try using this really small image. This one is 560 by 373, which is really low and there's really barely any detail. You can't see the logos, text or anything. So this is going to be interesting to see. So let's do image, generative upscale. Let's select. Let's actually try Topaz Bloom to see what detail it adds. Maybe it helps it here. Let's leave the creativity at 5 and let's do the output at 4x just to see how it goes. And let's click upscale. Okay, so this is an interesting result. I'm gonna still show you. I'm not gonna cut this out because yeah. So when using faces, you shouldn't use Topaz Bloom because it changes the whole image and it's not the original player, but it adds nice detail and for certain situation it's gonna work. But yeah, let's try this again using a different model. So again, go to image, generative upscale. This time let's try gigapixel. Click on face recovery, we're gonna keep it, and let's do 4x again, and let's try it now. So this result is pretty good. Of course, the original details weren't visible as well, so it's not gonna generate it any better. But the face is pretty good, honestly. Maybe the eyes are a bit too big comparing to the original, but you have to keep in mind that the original photo is really low res and there is no detail on it, so AI had to do a lot of work for this. And the result is honestly pretty good. So this is going to help you immensely in your projects. Maybe not this certain situation, but like we did here, this one is going to help you a lot. So yeah, it all depends on the situation and how much detail is in the original image. But yeah, let's see what else is new in the newest version. Okay, so another cool feature they added is called Harmonize, and it's been in the beta already, but I'm gonna show it to you right now. So for example, if you have a photo of a golfer here or any image at all, and you want to add an object to it or a different person or something else, but the lighting, shadows or anything doesn't match the original image, Now you can remove the background from this one, like this. And then what you do is click Harmonize. So this is the new feature. And when you click on it, it's gonna load for a second. And just like that, a really good generation. So you get 3 results and you can pick which one looks best for you. Let's say I like this one. What it does basically is adjust the lighting and adds shadows to fit the original image, and I think it did a pretty good job. Of course, sometimes the shadow maybe look right here, it added another shadow right here for some reason, and then you can just mask it out. Easy as that. The generations are not gonna be perfect, but you have to adjust them always, and these are just to help you out. This could be a rough start for you, maybe the lighting is not perfect, but then you can go ahead and adjust it even more yourself. But yeah. And if the generation removes some detail from the image maybe, you can of course do another round of upscaling, like we did in the first part. And it's gonna bring back some more detail, but yeah. Let's maybe try adding another object right here and see how it goes. I don't know why, but a basketball came to my mind, so let's try adding a basketball right here. And let's hit Harmonize and see what the result will be. And there we go, another round of results. And I think it looks pretty cool. Can't say much. Of course, it's not perfect, but it definitely adjusted the lighting of the ball very nicely. Of course, you can do another round of generations and maybe one will be better, but it's pretty cool. While we're at here, let's talk about a new feature that we already mentioned in the previous video. But in the previous video, we used the script to use Nano Banana's model for generation. But right now, Nano Banana is natively in Photoshop, so when you want to add stuff, let's say a new layer, select something. When you want to do a generation, you can select their newest model right here. They added it natively, so there is Adobe models that we had before, and there is some new partner models which are Flux and Gemini 2.5, which we talked about in the last video. So let's try using it natively right now. You don't need any plugins, just select the model and type something like replace the golf club with a sword. Let's see what result it gives us. Okay, this is pretty nice. I don't know why the result is offset like this, but it's pretty good and you can do some adjustment yourself to make it nicer, but let's try again. Let's do this whole part like this, his hands, and let's try right now. Actually, let's do the full part like this. And let's say replace golf club with a sword. Okay, now it did a much better job. But again, there is some offset happening. I'm not sure why, but you can easily mask it out and make it look better. Like this. And yep, he's holding a sword now, so that looks good. Let's try something else. Let's try adding a car here maybe. Let's see how it goes. Add a Lamborghini right here. Okay, so this generation is not perfect again. There's also some offset happening for some reason. I think it's because we're doing only a selection of the image and not the full image. But again, you can do some masking yourself and make it look like it's there properly. And this is already better. The generation itself is really nice, but yeah, the offset is weird. But let's try something else again. Let's try generation with Flux with a different model. So let's try doing a different t-shirt for him. Let's select it like this. And let's try using Flux to see how that looks. Change the color of the t-shirt from red to green. These models use more credits than the Adobe models, of course, so keep that in mind, but I don't think it should be an issue. If you're paying for an Adobe subscription, you should have a bunch of credits laying around that you probably don't even use. And yeah, Flux actually did a pretty good job. There is no offsetting happening. Ignore this is from my bad masking from the previous generation, but it did a really good job, honestly. It didn't even change his face at all. The face looks perfectly the same. So maybe this model is even better than Gemini. Let's try doing a Lamborghini here again, but using Flux. Lamborghini Urus, for example. And let's make it green Lamborghini Urus. And let's use Flux generate. So this generation is a bit weird, but maybe let's try again. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe let's merge all the layers and make a new one and try doing it like this. And maybe generate, and maybe let's say add a green Lamborghini right here. Maybe I don't even need to say right here. Let's try like that. You really have to play around with these models and get to know every single one to figure out how to prompt them and what the result will be. But it's definitely really useful and it's gonna save you a bunch of time. So yeah, this one is not doing really nice. Maybe because I'm prompting it wrong, because the t-shirt was perfect and the car is not. Let's try again using Gemini just to see how it happens. So add a green Lamborghini in the background on the grass. Okay, so this result is pretty good, honestly. And I don't know if it's because I have the whole layer right here merged and it's not parts of the generations. So let's try another generation on this full layer. Let's just say green Lamborghini. So this weird offsetting happens again. Not sure why, but yeah, keep messing around, and if it shows for you, just mask the edges around yourself and make it look nicer. This is basically perfect right now, so just adjust the mask yourself and you'll get the perfect result. And yeah, let's see what else is new in this update. So another thing they say is they improved subject selections. For that you need to go to settings and go to image processing and select subject, and remove background should be set to cloud. If it's on device, switch it to cloud. You can mess around with these settings here as well, but I have it set on faster just because I need selections quickly to not waste time. But you can click more stable, it's going to be a bit slower, but the result is going to be pretty much the same. And click OK. Once you have that, you can go to select subject or remove background. I'm gonna instantly just click remove background to see the result. And the result is also really good. Let's add another color background to see. Of course, it still isn't perfect. But it's much nicer than before for sure. Let's see a different background. Yeah, it's really nice. I can make it a bit better, but it's already really nice. And yeah, let's try with a different image right here. Let's do select subject first to see the selection. Let's see how much of the details goes out. Okay, so this one is not perfect. But it really keeps a lot of detail in. And if we add some contrast, maybe can make it even better. But yeah, it's impressive. I just wanted to show you that as well, because those are the three features that I'm gonna be using the most while doing sports designs or something like that. And I assume you guys that you follow me do similar types of designs yourself. I hope these three features are gonna be useful to you. Upscaling you will use for sure, because clients don't deliver perfect images every time, and if you're doing football edits or something like that, you're not gonna find the perfect picture every time, so you're gonna need to upscale it, and this feature is working really nicely. Second thing, having Nano Banana and Flux, so two different partner models inside of Photoshop natively, is really nice and useful. Again, for those edits, swapping things out, for example, this golf club right here into a sword. It's a funny edit right here, it's just to show you that it works, but you're gonna find a use case that's much better. And selection is gonna save you a lot of time when you need those quick edits, and when the subject is complex like here, and it's really gonna look nice. Of course, it's not perfect right here, but I'm just showing you what's new, and I hope you guys are gonna use these things. And to finish up this video, I'm gonna just show you a couple more examples I did. I used this photo of a football player and then selected the whole canvas, made a prompt, make him sitting in a throne looking towards the camera, and this is what I got. I think this is pretty insane. I also did upscale that to get more detail out of it, and I think this looks insane. Of course, I don't support just creating this and posting it like this. You need to work on this. You need to fix the face, because this is not the original player. You should probably do a jersey swap, because the logos are messed up. You need to make the design yourself, and you can't just post this and say it's art, because it's not. It's just a tool that helped you create this. So you need to invest some time after this generation to improve the design itself. But yeah, this was pretty cool. Then I added this image and tried Harmonize, and this is what it gave me. It gave me a couple results, but I think this one looked best. It's not perfect, but I'm just showing you how you can use it. Then here I messed around with Erling again, upscaled it, gave me a lot of detail here. I tried adding a helmet, it worked really nice, no clipping here. Added the X, also worked really nice. And here, this was just a test, but I selected the whole canvas and I said rotate him so the camera is facing his back, which the AI did really nicely. Of course, it doesn't know who the player is, so it gave me the weird number and the weird text. But if you needed to see the backside, this is perfect. You can mess around here, you can adjust this jersey, add your logos, add the text, and the design will work. But the initial generation is of course not perfect. Then we had this room right here. I just removed this chair, added a different one and used Harmonize. It worked really nicely. And then here I just tried adding some more objects. I switched this. I said replace this vase with a lava lamp, and it worked nicely. These are simple edits that they will work. I replaced this one with the world map. Also not a crazy edit, so of course it works. There's a bit of clipping on the bottom and right, but yeah. And then I tried this lamp, nothing special, but it works. Here, this was the initial image. I added this model, actually I added this one first, and I used Harmonized on her and got this. Added a nice shadow, of course not perfect, but it really fits the scene. So if you are doing an edit and adding small stuff around the design, this is gonna help you a lot. Then I added this girl. The colors were cold, the colors were cold, it had a bluish tone, and Harmonize did a really nice job. Look at this, it's amazing. Added a shadow as well, and then I added a plane, and then I added Harmonize to it, and it even added a shadow on the floor here, which is insane to me how the program knows. That's all that I had to show you. I hope these things will help you out and that you will experiment and see for yourself what works and what doesn't, and that it will speed up your designs. And if you liked this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Check out my Gumroad store and Patreon, which is a new thing that I'm gonna try implementing. So join there, I'm gonna post there as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.